Hey guys, what's up? I just had to fire up the mic for a quick rant because, you know, it's a nice day and all, and I saw something that had me floored for quite a while, and you might have actually seen this already yourselves because it went kind of viral a couple of days ago with other channels clowning on it while I was too busy working on the last video, but honestly it's understandable because, I mean, let's just look at it. This comes from the official Dungeons & Dragons page. This is what they got for us to marvel at in all of its creative ideation of what represents fantasy and specifically their brand here, you know, Dungeons & Dragons. So just bask in its glory, guys. I mean, it's just a feast for the eyes. Ah, the floating, smiling nightmare. The tasteful thickness of it. The gay dancing lizards in the bottom. The Afro demon. The dancing Mothman. It's all so beautiful. Like, holy hell, brother, what the fuck? Seriously though, what is this? You know what, this would actually be a fantastic drinking game. Take a shot every time you see someone gay. Look at the brave and stunning couple dancing in the middle, powering through our bigoted expectations of masculinity. Just two buff dudes slow dancing as if they were in the VIP section of the club at 1 in the morning, vibing to horny R&B tracks from 2006. Maybe some R. Kelly even, who knows? Except never mind, they're actually in the middle of a big plaza, grinding up in public. And I mean, I just say dudes, but in reality there's really no telling for the majority of the characters on screen here. And instead of horny R&B tracks, they're actually listening to the gender-ambiguous, stylish TikTok/Starbucks barista with a pink undercut, playing a fucking lute but sliding on the floor as if this was a Bon Jovi concert over at your dad's bachelor party. And I just love how we're in October and, you know, it's kind of the Halloween month and this is what they put out. Why is it that every time that I see some shit posted by this page going viral, you know, the official Dungeons & Dragons page, mind you, breaking through the algorithm and hitting even my own feed, even though I don't follow this page, it's always some lame shit like this. Like, what in the 7 C's of soy am I looking at here? And who exactly is this for? You know what this shit reminds me of? It looks like... wait a minute. Are the little dancing lizards over there using trans flag colored maracas? I'm telling you, man, there isn't a single character drawn here that looks like a thing that you would expect in a setting like this. And today, I'm just in the mood for a quick rant, rather than an analysis. I mean, look, it's Sunday, it's my day off, alright? Just let me rant about this and we're going to get spicy as usual. Cause it's all modern audience garbage. Well, maybe the guy sitting over here in the lower left corner, you know, maybe kinda looks like a regular mercenary or something, unless the bush is hiding some kind of wheelchair for disabled inclusivity as well, because of course. In a world where lizards dance with maracas and where cats have angel wings, and where giant horned and spike-tailed blue asshole demons dance around with random villagers, a world where pink undercuts exist, indeed a world where even the fucking dragons show up for a soy latte party, we would absolutely have a cripple in a wheelchair instead of getting healed by magic. Or killed in a dungeon raid. Again, it's Sunday, guys, just let me cut loose. As I was trying to say, you know, what this looks like is what you get when you take the Baldur's Gate 3 community, right? You take the game and you take the community, and from the game you learn nothing of what it is that actually made it work and made it appealing and popular, and then from the community of the game you take the 0.7% of players that this shit actually appeals to, and you focus your entire marketing strategy on them and them only. And then if anybody says anything, you know, you kind of just defend yourself with it. Well, why can't it be like this? Why can't it look like this? Brother, why can't it look like this? Why can't it be like this? Shit. Why can't I drive my fucking car on the train tracks? And this isn't even new either, like, guys, trust me. I wouldn't be taking my peaceful Sunday and just be making a video about something, you know, commenting on it or complaining about it, if it was just a little thing that just popped up. I wouldn't have the energy for it. Even if it was Monday or Tuesday, I literally would not have the energy. I would just see it, roll my eyes and move on like all of the previous times, because I'm just so used to it at this point that it kind of just slips by. I don't even notice it anymore. But this has been the pattern over the past few months that I've been on Twitter. I guess about a full year now. I joined it around October or September last year, so yeah. Where the D&D page or others like it, like the Games Workshop for example and other stuff in that realm, shares some cringy ass shit like this that is not only totally misrepresentative of what these franchises and these worlds used to look like, but is also straight up done on purpose to piss people off in their own fan bases. Like, this is what this is. This has to be it. There's no way that you can produce an image like this without the ulterior motive being right there from the beginning, where you're thinking, how can I make this as soy as possible so that I can piss off the community? This is done to rub it on the faces of all those people who grew up on this kind of stuff. And you know, I hear some soy boys getting mad at people calling this out, like, what's the problem? What's wrong with it? Not everything is made for you. And it's like, just shut up. Just stop. It's always this gotcha argument like, hey, more people exist and deserve to be represented. None of this has anything to do with representation at all. This is more like a complete visual corruption of what the franchise used to be about for, well, I don't know, but like, let me give you a visual of what I mean, as pictures speak louder than words. You see this ugly, floating, disgusting ball over here in the middle with all the tentacles and the eyes and shit? Yeah, that's right, this one, with the hearts on the eyeball. Let me show you what this is supposed to look like. Yeah, that's right. That's it right there. This is what this creature from the goddamn depths of our nightmares is supposed to look like. And this is precisely the issue here. It's not about what's represented. Like, I don't know... I don't know about these fucks, but I sure as hell am not a floating blob with like 10 tentacle eyeballs. I mean, Mauler might be something like that, but I'm not. The issue here is that this is what Dungeons & Dragons stood for, and it appealed to a certain audience and drew that audience in to come and experience it. That on its own gave it its own quality, its own identity. But now what happens with a lot of franchises in entertainment is they have to sacrifice their old identities and turn them into shit like this, just so that they can pretend like they are being inclusive. Inclusive of what exactly? I mean, it's just so cringe and unnecessary. Like, are you seriously trying to tell me that if someone is gay or trans or bi or whatever the fuck, they just lose all sense of their own personalities and identities, and they can only enjoy something if it looks like this goddamn picture? Like, are you telling me that a gay dude or a lesbian chick or whatever, they can't look at this old artwork instead and go, hell yeah, that shit is awesome? Are we honestly this cooked that if you're basically anything other than a straight cis male, then this cannot be enjoyed and instead you need fucking Rainbow Land? You can't enjoy the core values of D&D and classical fantasy with jacked heroes, beautiful women, bearded wizards, dangerous worlds, slaying dragons, cutting orcs down, getting wiped by literal abominations from the darkest dungeons imaginable. You can't have any of that. You need to go and get hyperfixated on fucking sexuality, race, and the Rainbow Town instead, where everyone is happy and dancing in La La Land and having orgies in the middle of the street. You need your cute, colorful little Rainbow Land to feel safe and secure, where it's clear skies and fair winds every day, because I refuse to believe this. I refuse it completely. It goes against everything that I fucking believe. I believe in individuality. You can be gay, you can be trans, you can be whatever the fuck else. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't attach your identity to anything. You can like a million different things that are shared by a million different people of a million different backgrounds. I detest this obsession with wanting to link this with an entire demographic of people. Link this with queerness and whatever the fuck, and then gaslighting people into dividing themselves as if a random dude named Joey can't be both gay and a fucking classic Dragon and Dungeons nerd. This is embarrassing, dude. Like, this is bad, man. Like, this picture, bro, this is garbage. This is slop. This doesn't sell. And it's embarrassing too, like damn dude. And then the people who defend this, which are a minority of another minority of another minority, literal activists, bots, and professional virtue signalers who live on social media, like to start throwing around heavy words to cover for it, acting as if their rights are being taken away and they're marginalized because they're not being included in shit like this. But it's a lie, a smokescreen. We all know that. Everyone has always been included in D&D, they just don't like assholes. So and these people, they don't like D&D, so they want to reshape it into Lord of the Cringe, thereby alienating its own original fanbase, and then when that happens, of course, they're treated like assholes. But can't you see why in this picture right here? Because the whole story is encapsulated here perfectly. The reason why there's so many people out there getting sick and tired of this kind of thing being shoved into their entertainment and hobbies, the reason why wokeness is not just losing popularity but is also losing support from the normies, is because it is literally being shoved into their entertainment. It's being forced upon them. Like, look. Let's be as best faith as possible. Imagine you're just some guy named John Normie, and you're a really chill dude. You don't like to get into controversies, you're a very down-to-earth guy, you don't like getting into trouble, and similarly you don't like bad vibes. So one day you're perusing your favorite fantasy providers like Dungeons and Dragons here, and you see some very clearly, very overtly woke thing, like this picture here, and even with the same kind of nice inclusive message saying, in this realm, your story is yours to tell. And since you're just a nice chill guy and you have nothing against any groups at all, you see this and you even smile and give it a like, because again, you're a chill guy. You don't think there's anything wrong about your favorite D&D page doing a nice inclusive post towards the LGBTQIA2S55G+++ crowd. Maybe you even see a couple of people in the comments being rude and gatekeepy about the hobby, and you even step up and go, hey guys, come on, it's just a piece of artwork, chill. There's nothing wrong with it. D&D is for everyone, because again, you're just such a nice chill guy. But then next time your favorite page posts again, it's another piece in this style and this vibe. And then later on it happens again. The same style and the same vibe. And then you go and you subscribe to Disney Plus because they tempted you with a free month and, you want to check out some Marvel and Star Wars shows, and lo and behold, the same shit in the same style and the same vibe are popping up there too. But no problem, because you just heard about a Lord of the Rings show being made by Amazon, and as a D&D fan, Lord of the Rings is your everything. It's what got you into it when you were a child. It's why you go back to rewatch every single year when fall season rolls around. On the first rains of October, off you go binge watching the extended version, taking you back to when you were just a little 8-year-old chill guy. So of course, you cancel your Disney Plus subscription because you're not retarded, and you get one for Amazon. So you can watch Rings of Power. And lo and behold, they infected the Holy Grail as well. The same shit with the same themes and the same vibes and the same resulting problems from it, such as bad writing, bad presentation, no respect for the lore, etc., are sneaking into there too. And while looking it up online, maybe you even got to see some of the articles from Access Media calling Lord of the Rings problematic and racist because there's no diversity and inclusion in it. Or alternatively, because some retarded college professor decided to, out of his own volition and through his own overcooked mind, call the orcs of Lord of the Rings the equivalent to people of color. Again, this is what they are doing, not me. Because I'm actually not retarded or racist. Leftist college professors though, those guys are the most racist people you will ever meet. But anyway, it's not just attacking the franchise either, by the way, it's also attacking John Normies like yourself who didn't like the show, who dropped comments or maybe even videos complaining about all the mischaracterizations, the lore problems, and overall bad writing. None of this matters to them, as all they do is make hit pieces of fans like yourself calling you toxic, misogynistic, and racist just for criticizing the show with zero regard for any valid criticism at all. So I don't know, maybe now you're not such a chill guy anymore, maybe now you're a bit miffed about the situation, maybe now you scoff whenever you see your favorite D&D page posting the same shit because at this point you're noticing that it isn't a little wink and a nod to the LGBT, Samsung, HD TV, 4K, HDR, whatever the fuck community, and not just for inclusivity and stuff, but now it's looking more like your favorite franchises, and indeed the wider genre surrounding it are being hijacked and changed at a core level by activists who don't understand the brand, don't understand the content, don't understand the appeal, and most importantly, don't care about it either. Maybe now you're noticing that the most noteworthy brands that once upon a time led the genre and these franchises are all being overtaken by this shit and all putting out the same kinds of designs and content in the same vein. And the only ones that aren't doing it and are sticking to the classics are small little brands that get no publicity at all because they're not being inclusive enough. So you say, hey, screw it, and you go and you play some video games instead because, hey, video games are that old faithful that have always made you happy and helped you escape the ills of the modern world. You hear about a new game that just came out and it's Dragon Age Veilguard. You're very excited because you played Dragon Age Origins, you played Dragon Age 2, and you played Dragon Age Inquisition. You've been following the story. You love it, you're invested, and you want to see where it goes and how it concludes. So you buy it and you play it, and holy fuck, it's the biggest bullshit fiesta you've ever seen. Once again, here we are, the same shit polluting the movie industry, the comic book industry, the streaming industry, the tabletop industry, and just about anything else under the damn sun is in the games industry too, and one of your favorite dark fantasy franchises just got co-opted into the battlefield. And the poison works the same way as it did for all of those things before, where it's a change at the core fundamental level, where they can't even just do classical fantasy with the addition of gay relationships, which were already there originally anyway since Dragon Age Origins, or something where it's like, oh hey look, this is a side character who happens to be a Kunathlok. No, they went hard and fast. So the character isn't a Kunathlok, they're the same thing that TikTokers are cringe posting about back here, in the shitty modern day reality you're trying to escape from.
I'm non-binary.
Carrying the exact same heavy, divisive political subjects. And the same happens with the dialogues and everything, where characters are trying to teach you their new pronouns. The world has changed and can't be dark fantasy anymore because dark fantasy is too dark. So assassins and thieves and shit like that don't exist anymore. Wardens are just friendly little soldier people, rather than the hardy warriors tainted by darkspawn blood, where more than half of them even die from the ritual alone. And dark magic can't be used by the player or anyone in the party because it's bad, and your party members sound like retarded millennial adult children rather than people facing down tyrannical gods trying to end the world. So on, so forth, you get my point, especially if you've been a fan of the channel for a while now. So at this point, maybe you ran out of chill entirely, maybe you can't take it anymore, and now every time that you see this sludge that rotted your favorite franchises in your favorite genre of entertainment, you kinda just tell the truth about how you feel instead of swallowing it up in the name of, you know, just being tolerant and nice and kind and all of this other stuff. And you also laugh your ass off because it's the soyest thing you've ever seen since the fucking Teletubbies. Maybe next time you see people grouping up on comment sections roasting artwork like that again from your favorite D&D page, which by now has been completely overtaken and doesn't even remember its own origins and core audience anymore, maybe now you join in on the gatekeeping rather than trying to be a nice, chill guy, because you realize that being a chill guy didn't do anything, because no amount of inclusivity was ever enough, because it was never about inclusivity in the first place. It was about taking over and changing the whole damn thing. And so there we go, this is what happens, this is why there's less and less normies defending shit like this, and actually more and more of them hitting their limits and going, you know what? No, actually, this does suck. It is not Dungeons and Dragons, it is not fantasy, and it is in fact crayon-painted shit, and I want it to go back to what it used to be. And let's face it, the way it used to be didn't exclude anyone, it was just what it was. If you liked it, all you had to do was join in. There was no bouncer at the door blocking your entrance, there was no prerequisite, there was no race barrier or sexuality barrier or gender barrier or age or class or ability, there was nothing. It was just, hey, you enjoy fantasy? You do? Well then get the fuck in here, Eugene is the game master tonight. And if you didn't like it, then you just had to move on and find hobbies that suited you better. It was so simple. Now we gotta see Lord of the Rings become something else, Dragon Age become something else, so many of our beloved game studios become something else and make games that shit on their origins. And you ever notice that we don't see this anywhere else, by the way? Like, you ever notice that shit? Like, if you don't enjoy the characters and themes and optional gay romances of Life is Strange, you just move on and you play something else. There's no external nor internal push trying to change Life is Strange from being what it is and from catering to the people that it caters to just to be able to cater to others who don't like the franchise. Like, you don't see them introducing a new protagonist and it's like a dude who looks like a Giga Chad and a side character romantic interest who looks like Sydney Sweeney just so they can specifically draw in the straight dudes. You don't see them putting in churches and using biblical themes to weave stories together that would appeal to the Christian conservative crowd out there. They just let Life is Strange be Life is Strange and do its own thing, appealing to its own different, unique crowd. But with fantasy and so many other male-dominated things, nah, fuck that. We're gonna take it, we're gonna twist it and mangle it into something that rejects its original fanbase and tries to appeal to a new, modern one. And if it fails, it doesn't even matter. I mean, the loss is for the company. The activists themselves will be just fine. They'll take pride in killing something that was beloved by people that they hate, and now they'll be able to ride on the coattails of the excess media as they will blame the big, bad, bigoted chuds if something goes wrong. Our shitty TV show failed because of a targeted hate campaign issued by alt-right people. Please give us jobs and new studios, please. Fuck you. Like, if these people were at least talented, if they were actually making good content, people wouldn't care. This wouldn't be an issue, just be like, okay, but it's a good story, it's good content, who cares? But no, they're incapable of doing that. So instead, they want to go after people who talk bad about them. And they're already seeking action on that too. I don't know if you guys saw this yet or not, but they were putting out a survey where they were asking people specifically if they had been negatively influenced by content creators in regards to one of their products which had to do with Spider-Man, a crossover of some such. If the answer was yes, they would ask people to give their channel names up. If the answer was no, then they would just drop you off the survey. So quite literally a survey designed towards targeting and trying to move the narrative of content creators bearing responsibility for them essentially losing sales. In truth, it's not the content creators that they should be blaming, but themselves. Content creators are powerless retards. You think people just listen to me if I just said a bunch of random baseless shit that I just made up on the spot and didn't resonate or relate to my viewers with? What are you, fucking stupid? I would have 50 subscribers and 6 concurrent viewers. The reason people listen is because these problems are there. It's because they have been feeling this way for a while now. And speaking for myself personally here, and what is the case with many commenters of mine, they like the way that I articulate our collective feelings into words, and in this case into videos. And some other channels out there cover the news and give them information to keep up with just how rotten the industry is, because actual games media just doesn't do it. They don't. You think any access media sites are gonna cover that a company is doing some shadow play bullshit to try and go after content creators for negatively influencing potential buyers? Of course they're not. In fact, they're capable of doing the opposite and gaslight everyone by lying and say that it's not true at all. Games media is here to protect the companies and to enrich themselves. Without content creators, gamers would have no goddamn voices speaking for themselves and protecting their interests. For more information on this, feel free to check out this video, it'll be in the description and the top comment. I made it in August, during the horrible time where the algorithm was all screwed up, so you might have not picked it up in your subscription box. Another former journo who is drenched in controversy, where even his own side has ousted and called him out, is doing the same thing, urging game studios to go after YouTube channels who speak ill of them. They want to produce dog shit and silence our collective voices. Our voices give us power. Our criticism and our right to vote with our wallets give us the ability to fight back this sludge of a takeover and just overall bad content. And so they want to take that away from us. And the funny thing about it is that it wouldn't do shit. Because when you guys choose not to buy garbage, you're not doing so because I or Asmongold or some other YouTuber you follow said so. You're not a window licker with no autonomy. If you were, you wouldn't even be watching our channels, you'd be watching the shill channels. You're doing it because you see the garbage for yourselves and you have no desire in spending your money on it. And then what I imagine most of you do is you head online to some of these channels that you follow and you click their videos because you want to have a laugh with them roasting these products, or you want to know more background information that they researched and put together in a video. Take that away, the garbage is still not going to get bought. The only way to make their garbage purchasable is if they literally go out of their way to do false advertising, which would be a scandal of whole other proportions that channels like little old me could never even dream of drumming up. But hey, it is what it is. I guess we'll see where all of this goes. Until then, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed my ranting and raving, a like would be a huge help. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.